Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's ETA Prime back here again. Today, we're going to be taking an early look at one of the most interesting handhelds that's ever been released. What we have here is the ONEXSUGAR 1, and at first glance, I mean, it just kind of looks like an oddly shaped handheld. We've got a 6-inch OLED display up front here, a little bit of RGB around the sides and around the analog sticks. But what makes this so interesting is the fact that it's the world's first transforming dual screen handheld. So obviously we've got this second display here that we can either flip up or down depending on the orientation, but there's some more transforming that we can do here. So as you can see, we can flip both of these up. Now we can turn the whole unit around and we've got more of a DS style handheld. We can also remove the D-pad, put it over on the left-hand side. It's a magnetically detachable D-pad. And I do like the overall design. It's something that we've never seen before hit the market. This is actually an earlier prototype. They were kind enough to send this over, and they're going to be launching this on Indiegogo soon. I will leave links in the description. So again, we've got dual OLED displays here, dual front-facing stereo speakers, Hall-based analog sticks with adjustable RGB. Over on each side, we've got the ONEXSUGAR logo that is also RGB. The software here is going to play a key role in getting everything up and running correctly. Down at the bottom here, we've also got a full function USB Type-C port. And to tell you the truth, the main way that I've been playing this is kind of in the DS style, just all folded out. We've got the smaller screen on the bottom at 3.92-inch OLED. And moving around back, you can see there's actually quite a lot going on here. This utilizes a dual fan cooling system for the CPU and it's fully adjustable from software. They're going to be offering two different color variants. Obviously, we've got the white here, but they're also offering a black version over on their Indiegogo. And when it comes to the overall specs, this is powered by the new Qualcomm Snapdragon G3 Gen 3 CPU. It's an 8-core ARM SoC, and we've got that X4 Prime core that'll clock up to 3.3 gigahertz. Adreno A32 GPU, dual fan cooling system for that chipset, 16 gigabytes of RAM with 512 gigabytes of internal storage, plus a micro SD card slot. The larger screen is a 6.01-inch OLED with a resolution of 2160 by 1080. The smaller screen is a 3.92-inch OLED with a resolution of 1080 by 1240. It's got Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 5.3, a 5600 milliamp hour battery. It's running Android 14, and it weighs approximately 486 grams. As for the overall ergonomics here, we're kind of in DS mode. I do find that it's actually pretty comfortable. I mean, even though it's got these hard edges, they don't dig into you. It's not a super heavy handheld. You can hang on to it quite easily. We've got that swappable magnetic D-pad, and we can actually place it up here. It's got magnets built in to hold the controllers in place when it's in kind of landscape mode. All of the buttons here are very tactile, and around back we've got those shoulder and trigger buttons. Unfortunately, the trigger buttons are not linear, so they're just going to be on or off. Very satisfying tactile feel with the micro switches they used here. And you can see we've got those shoulder buttons. They're actually a little lower than the triggers, and they're pretty easy to get to no matter which mode you're in. Another thing they added here is a physical volume wheel. So when we're in DS mode, we can use this. And over on the left-hand side, we can still reach the power button. So there's actually two power buttons and two ways to change the volume. So when we're in landscape mode, we're going to use different buttons here. But yeah, I mean, they kind of thought of everything with this setup. Another thing we have here is known as Sugar Console. So this is going to open up our software and this is going to allow us to really adjust everything on the unit. We've got full RGB control and there's some presets that we can use. You can go solid color if you want to, brightness control, and it does kind of blow my camera out a bit. I'm on brightness number 2, which does look really good. We've also got a performance and fan control section here. I've just been leaving the fan on auto and it's actually pretty quiet, but if you wanted to go to manual mode to 100%, it does make a little bit of noise, but we can go to balanced mode, quiet mode, high performance mode. And of course, we've got a mode here just for our screens. So there's a few settings in here like baked in bezels. So we can go 16 by 9 with it. We can go 4 by 3 or 3 by 2. And this actually comes in really handy for standalone emulators that just don't support bezels. Of course, with something like RetroArch, you can set it up to use them automatically. But with this, it does make it easier just to kind of get rid of those black borders on the side, and they are fully customizable. We can also swap screens. So if we want to use that bottom screen as our main screen, we can go right to the Sugar console, set it up that way. And you can use both of these screens independently. So you can run dual apps. If you wanted to, let's say, watch a YouTube video on one of them, play a game on the other, And from Sugar Console, we can also fully adjust the controls on this. So there's a mode here to allow us to use it in single screen mode. So our D-pad will be on the left-hand side, regular buttons on the right-hand side, and vice versa when we're in dual screen mode. The Sugar one does utilize Hall-based analog sticks, so they're going to center right out. We don't have to worry about drift or anything like that. All of the buttons feel really decent here. Again, very tactile feel, micro switches here. But the one thing I'm worried about here are fighting games with this magnetic D-pad. So that's something we will be testing later on in the video. When it comes to dual screen gaming, there's actually a few Android games that do support it, but for the most part, a lot of people will be using this for emulation, and it's pretty simple to set up for either 3DS or DS. It also has a gyro built in, so it will work with emulators that support it. Pretty cool little feature. I've got it set up, obviously, just like a 3DS or a DS. We've got the smaller screen down here. Touch is going to work, or you could use the built-in controls to get down to it. When it comes to overall performance, the Snapdragon G3 Gen 3 does hold its own. I mean, it's actually a really powerful chip. It was specifically designed by Qualcomm for gaming handhelds. I went through and tested a bunch of games here, and 3x resolution seems to be a nice sweet spot. You can go up from there with easier to emulate games, but for something like this, I mean, 3x still looks great on this display. And with a system like this, most people are going to want to play, dual screen mode. But keep in mind, you can go single screen and still have a really good time with it. And just to kind of give you an idea of synthetic performance out of this G3 Gen 3, I did run 3D Mark Wildlife Extreme, and with that, we had a total score of 5,374. So that A32 GPU does clock up to 1.1 gigahertz, and it's putting down some great performance. And as for CPU performance, I ran Geekbench 6. We had a single core of 2,264, multi of 7,108. So yeah, I mean, really good for an Android device. Nice little chipset here, but it's still not as powerful as something like the Snapdragon 8 Elite. Another thing I wanted to test here was video over USB Type-C, and it does work quite well. We don't have like a desktop mode or anything like that, and it's going to mirror whatever your main screen is. But right now I've got Fortnite running at the highest settings, 60 FPS on this bigger screen, using an Xbox controller connected over Bluetooth. It runs great. I mean, we've got a steady 60 with it, and I figured that this Snapdragon chip would definitely run it really well. One thing I'd love to see here, once it's officially released, is just a resolution switcher over USB Type-C. I plugged it into my game capture just to see, and it says 1440, but to my eye, it kind of looks like 1080, mirroring that screen at 1080 on this monitor. Either way, I mean, we've got a much larger screen here. It does work out really well, but having a few extra settings would be really nice. Another one I tested here was Genshin Impact. We're at high settings, 60 FPS, and we finally have official controller support on Android, so you can basically use any controller with this game.
Ready, steady, go!
Now it's time to test out this magnetically detachable D-pad. I've got Marvel vs. Capcom 2 here for Dreamcast running in Redream. And first glance, it feels good. You can definitely use it. But once you start getting into it, you can see that I'm kind of losing the D-pad. And that's just because it's got magnets. If there was some type of clip system, it may work out a little better. But then, swap it over to each side would be a bit cumbersome. You could use a 4-button setup to play a fighting game like this, but personally, I'd love to have a traditional D-pad. So that's something that may need to be addressed. Some people might be fine playing a game with a 4-button D-pad style, but personally, it would be nice if I didn't lose that D-pad. And finally here, getting into a little bit of higher emulation just to show you how this G3 Gen 3 performs. 3x resolution, OpenGL backend here with Automodellista. 3x is 1080, still looks great on this display, and I could probably bump it up to 4x. In my full review on this unit, I will try higher resolutions, but this is at a steady 60 and it's playing just fine. Another one I wanted to test here was PS2. I'm using Nether SX2. We've got God of War 2 at 3x resolution. I just tried OpenGL. I didn't even swap over to Vulkan because with these Snapdragon chips, OpenGL just performs really well with a lot of these emulators. Great performance, 60 FPS, and with this we may be able to go up to 3.5. I know on something like the Snapdragon 8 Elite, we can do up to 4x with this game. Not exactly sure if we'll be able to do it, across the board with this chipset, but even at 3, emulation here looks awesome. So yeah, it's definitely a really unique design, and I think One X and Sugar have done a great job with what they've implemented so far. Only issue that I've run into is just trying to play those fighting games with the magnetic D-pad. It just keeps coming off on me. Maybe they'll implement some type of clip system, or even just add some cups that go over the buttons so it's more secure on there, because right now it's just kind of sitting flush on top with those magnets attaching in. I think with cups, it would work out just fine. I'm going to spend some more time with the Sugar One, and I'll have a full review coming up in the next, I'd say, 3 to 4 days. So keep an eye out on the channel. Right now, they're launching their Indiegogo, and unfortunately, I don't know the exact price. I mean, I guess they're going to wait till the last minute to kind of announce it. So that's really going to make or break the device itself. But if you're interested in learning a little more, I will leave links to that Indiegogo in the description below. And as soon as I find the price out, I'll put it right in the top of the description. But let me know your thoughts on this thing. Is it something you'd be interested in at the right price? Is it just a little overkill for a handheld gaming device? And if there's anything specific you want to see running on the Sugar One in my full review video, just let me know in the comments below. But that's going to wrap it up for this first look. And like always, thanks for watching.